Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a pretty wild projection of the future, how the evolution of artificial intelligence could completely, fundamentally reshape the pharmaceutical industry as we know it. Okay, so our whole journey today is going to be structured around these three big waves of AI. First, we've got artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI. That's the specialized AI we're already seeing pop up everywhere. Then, things get interesting. Around 2030, we could see artificial general intelligence, or AGI, which is a human-like intellect. And finally, brace yourself for artificial superintelligence, or ASI, a kind of godlike intellect that might show up around 2040. Each one of these is a total game changer. So here's the plan. We'll start with the near-term impact of ANI, then hit that major turning point with AGI, and then we'll dive into the mind-bending singularity with ASI. After all that, we'll wrap it all up and try to answer the biggest question of all. What's left for us humans to do? All right, let's kick things off with the AI that's already in our backyard and getting smarter by the day. Artificial Narrow Intelligence, ANI. We're talking about right now up to around 2030. Think of it as an incredibly powerful tool, but, and this is key, it's still just a tool, for now. Now, what's really fascinating here is how ANI goes after very specific data-heavy jobs. Look at regulatory affairs, a projected 80% reduction in documentation work. That's massive. In quality control, human inspectors looking at vials? Nope, they're pretty much replaced by AI-powered cameras. You see the pattern here, right? ANI is automating the repetitive stuff, which means roles start to transform more than they just disappear. But this isn't just about shuffling digital paperwork. Oh no. The next logical step is to give this brain a body. We're talking advanced robotics, where ANI is poised to completely revolutionize the physical manufacturing floor. Just picture it. Lab robots running experiments 24/7 without getting tired. Super precise machines that can pick and place delicate medications faster and more accurately than any human ever could. And you'll have these autonomous guided vehicles zipping around the factory floor, handling all the logistics, which is great for cutting down on contamination risks. Basically, the robots are taking over all the boring, repetitive, but high-precision jobs, making everything faster, cheaper, and a whole lot safer. So this all leads to the million-dollar question. Where do we humans fit into this picture? If AI is the new brain and robots are the new hands, what's left for us? Well, the trick isn't to worry about what we're losing, but to look at the brand new opportunities to level up our own skills. So listen, the strategy isn't to try and beat the AI at its own game. You're not going to be faster. Instead, you provide what it can't. You become the human auditor, using your years of expertise to catch the AI's weird mistakes or hallucinations. You become the translator, that bridge between the complex world of pharma and the AI's logic. And maybe most importantly, you master the high-touch stuff. That real emotional connection with patients and doctors. That's a place empathy-free AI just can't go. Okay, let's shift gears. We're moving to the next phase now. Sometime around 2030, we're projected to meet artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And this is where things get truly, deeply disruptive. Because AGI isn't just a better tool, it's an autonomous colleague. And this slide just nails the difference. ANI is a tool. It makes what we already do better. AGI is an intelligence. It can think for itself, come up with new ideas, and completely reinvent how things are done from the ground up. It operates at our level or maybe even higher. It's not an upgrade. It's a whole new species of intelligence. With AGI in the picture, the impact goes from transformation to outright disruption. In R&D, it could direct its own research, from the first hypothesis to the final conclusion. Poof, most lab jobs, gone. In quality control, it can understand complex global regulations and approve its own data. The human double-checker, no longer needed. Those safe specialized white-collar jobs from the ANI era, yeah, they are now directly in the path of this new wave of automation. This forces a massive change in our mindset. I mean, think about it. If AGI is handling the how to find a new drug, how to make it, how to get it approved, then our job has to shift to the why. We stop being technicians and start becoming philosophers. In this new world, our real value comes from the stuff AGI just can't do. We're the bioethics guardians, making sure its perfectly logical solutions are actually moral and good for humanity. We're the ones who design the patient's emotional journey, a job that requires pure empathy. And maybe, most importantly, we become the final human sign-off. We take the legal and ethical responsibility for what this powerful intelligence decides to do. All right, now we're taking the final leap. We're heading into a future that sounds like straight-up science fiction, projected for around 2040, the age of artificial superintelligence, or ASI. This is the singularity, the moment when AI becomes smarter than all of humanity combined. So in the age of AISI, how many traditional pharma jobs are left? From the top researcher to the factory floor worker, the answer is projected to be zero. A big, fat zero. AISI won't just change jobs, it will literally dissolve the entire concept of the pharmaceutical industry. So you're probably asking, how on earth is that even possible? Well, it comes down to ASI's superintelligence being able to design and control a technology that's truly revolutionary, autonomous nanorobots that can manipulate the world at the atomic level. And this is a complete paradigm shift. I mean, forget factories, forget pills. Imagine tiny robots inside your body that act like microscopic factories, creating and delivering medicine the exact moments you need it. They could hunt down and destroy cancer cells one by one, making surgery a thing of the past. Or they could constantly repair your DNA, essentially ending the aging process. Health stops being something you have to fix and becomes a utility you just have, like running water or electricity. Which of course brings us to the ultimate question. If we get rid of sickness, and we get rid of the need to work, what is our purpose? What is left for humanity to actually do in a world that has no problems left to solve? At this point, our role ascends from doing to being. We become the ethical anchor for this technology, setting the moral guardrails for its godlike power. We become experience designers, focusing on spiritual and emotional health. And ultimately, we are the guardians of our own sovereignty, the ones who have to make sure this incredible intelligence stays aligned with our deepest values. Okay, that was a wild ride, I know. So let's just pull back for a second and summarize this whole incredible journey, putting all three eras side by side so we can really see the arc of this transformation. You can see the escalating impact so clearly here. With ANI, our job is to master a tool. With AGI, it's to provide ethical oversight. By the time we get to ASI, our job is to define the meaning of life itself. Employment transforms, then it gets replaced, and then the whole idea of a job just vanishes. It's a total evolution of not just an industry, but of medicine, and ultimately our own purpose. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? As AI takes over every single task you can imagine, from filling out a form to re-engineering our DNA, our last and most important job is simply to define what it means to be human. Our values stops being about what our hands can do and starts being about the quality of our character and our will. And that's the really provocative question we're left with. In a future without disease, without the need for work, what will we choose to value in ourselves? What will we value in each other? It's a question that goes way beyond technology and right to the very core of who we are. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.